Hey, welcome to Drawing a Blank, a series meant to improve our skills and figure out the how-tos on the spot together. I'm Christine Paris, and today I want to talk about simplified characters, toons. We're drawing cartoons. Sometimes this is a little difficult for me. I'm a little bit out of practice, as I've mentioned in prior videos. I'm trying to loosen up my lines again, and I started in realism, so I lean towards over detail, but we're going to try and fix that today. Now, what do we need to know for simplified characters? There's 4 elements that will help you push and pull emotion from your drawings and illustrations, regardless of everything else. All the little stylistic details fall away. You really just need these 4 elements to convey emotion. First of all, the eyes. We're talking shape, size, close in, far apart. These all explain emotions. Eyebrows, the placement up and down, can really convey anger or happiness or confusion or being incredulous. The mouth, happy, sad, screaming, frustrated, perturbed, joyous, laughing, and placement. The relation and distance of all these elements to each other. Having a straight line mouth high up can show frustration, or a straight line mouth far down can show resolve. And all that is an up and down movement. This is where I want to work with my character. I want it to be able to be readable in a small corner. When we're making a character or creating a cartoon version of someone for real, like I am doing for myself, we just want to pick 2 or 3 key features that will illustrate that this is the same character no matter what the expression is. And what do I mean by that? It could be if someone has a strong face shape, they can have a big square head, or maybe they have a particular hairstyle, or maybe they're known for having huge teeth, so all of your mouth shapes should be big and toothy. For me, I think from a medium distance, what anybody would pick out our elements for me is that I have larger ears that are pierced. Do I need to show every single piercing that's in my ears? Absolutely not. This simplified 3 lines gets the idea across. I have loose curly hair that I normally have braided on one side or I pull into a ponytail. Little hack here, straight on illustrations of a ponytail is not interesting. Pick something else. If you're animating or going at all different angles, go for it, but straight on is not interesting. So I'm just sticking with those 2 elements to convey that it's me. My coloring is a little bit identifiable as well, but if you're just drawing in black and white, we're not worried about coloring. The physical black and white lines should be able to show who your person is. Here I'm just pushing and pulling and trying to loosen up my hand a little bit. I'm using too thick of a line, but we can work with that in the future. Right now, we're just practicing. I'm practicing placement, I'm practicing loosening up my wrist. I don't have bags under my eyes, but I do have dark circles, and I was attempting to show that without color with a lower lash on the inner corner. I don't know that it worked, but it shows me. Again, I got bogged down in details with eyebrow shapes. We're just practicing. Ultimately, even though I fussed with these for way too long, I realized what I was doing and I got rid of them eventually. But for now, we could waggle our eyebrows. Lowering those eyebrows suddenly changed the expression of those big glassy eyes. Raising them up looks surprised. Going with a simple dot eye makes it look more perturbed. You can see how quickly we can change the expression that we're given just with moving the eyebrows around. I haven't done anything to the face at all. We're just moving the elements around and you can see what a huge difference it makes. I finally figured out that those were over-designed and not well executed. Simple lines show us all we need to know. Next, we're going to play with mouth shapes and placement, of course. Simply moving a circular mouth off to the side shows a sudden understanding. One straight line up and down creates a different mood. That was a fun one. Neutral mouth. All this, we're just swapping out different mouth shapes and conveying entirely different emotions like cringe or frustration. I never make this face, that doesn't matter. It conveys emotion and you know who it is. Pushing and pulling mouth shapes is always really fun for me. I suggest being more organized with your layers. I was just trying to do this quickly. See, simply moving the eyebrows down changes the feeling of all these mouths. And I didn't have to redraw them a bunch of times. You can see how quickly we can change. That's the mouth shape that begins my favorite curse word. So let's settle on this little goblin face I made for myself. I'm going to shrink it way down because I honestly want it to be able to read in just the corner of my screen. Never mind my guidelines here, it works within YouTube's safe area, although I don't find that they ever cut off that much of the edging around, but this is the safe zone I'm trying to work within. Just threw down some simple flats. Here I'm going to throw in a little bit of coloring, although this shouldn't be necessary. This is probably the last element that makes it obvious that it's me. I'm very fair, I have red-brown hair, I have blue-green eyes, and I think I would add in the under circles were this not just a much more simplified version of myself. This is me fighting with putting in too much detail. Don't worry, we'll get better. Threw that down as a multiplied layer. Blue and purple shadows are always more appealing than just flat grays. Reds are fun, but they need to be used sparingly. They seem kind of unnatural and otherworldly. I probably didn't even need the shadows, but I wanted to give a little bit more dimension. And there we go. Look how quickly we pulled together a face that was recognizable. Now go practice. And here, I just took a 5-minute break, stretched my legs, got up, came back, and started throwing down some lines. The one on the far left doesn't really look like me at all, but I'm keeping it and you can't stop me. All the while here, I'm keeping my identifiable elements the same. The head face is relatively the same shape from figure to figure. I keep about the same ear size. I'm not getting over detailed with piercings, and my hair is going to be relatively consistent, although here we're just working on the placement of elements to each other and getting a wide variety. Yeah, I need to work on tunified hands a little bit, simplified hands. Maybe we'll make hands another episode of drawing a blank. For now, we're just worried about toony faces. We can of course always throw in some dimension, throwing a shoulder forward, throwing hands forward, doing a 3/4 body pose. All these things can help to convey the emotional language we're trying to get across. You can certainly keep a straightforward body, but why not add a little bit of dimension? This little evil head was fun. I'll have to go back and tweak it a little bit. So we're going to throw in all of our flat colors. Turning the background gray just to make sure that my white elements are actually painted white and they're not going to just show through as my video through teeth. I typically work on this like medium light gray background to start with on most of my illustrations. I don't know why I waited so late in the game to get it in there. Now we're going to throw in our shadows. Again, I could have simplified these further and probably will in the future. And that evil head up there would have been a good opportunity to use a burgundy or red or orange multiplied shadow. I just didn't think of it at the time. It all gets the message across regardless. Again, I fought with myself of putting in too much detail here. I put in highlights to show that I do these side braids and the texture of the hair, but really I overdid it a little bit. It got the message across, but next time, simplify, simplify, simplify. And you can see the first try on the spot. You know, I didn't even warm up before the video, which I should have, but we did the first try together. We took a little break and went at it 5 minutes later, and look how quickly we elevated our style from the first try all in one sitting. There we go. Let's go make some cartoons.